Shivaya. Shanti, Prithvi Shanti, Apaha Shanti, Oshadhayah Shanti, Vanaspatayah Shanti, Vishwe Deva Shanti, Brahma Shanti, Sarvagunam Shanti, Shantireva Shanti, Sama Shantiredi. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
You wanted to go now?
This is for Molly and for me. Recordings. And for the
Hey, Brahmananda, can you in your park? Brahmananda.
Did you talk to you last night? Ksharam pradhanam Amritaksharam haraha
Amritaksharam haraha
Ksharatmana vishate deva ekaha
Ksharatmana vishate deva ekaha
Tasya vidyanat Yojanat tattva bhavat Bhuyaschante Vishvamaya nivritti
Vishvamaya nivritti
Ksharam pradhanam amritaksharam haraha
Ksharam pradhanam amritaksharam haraha
Ksharatmana vishate deva ekaha
Ksharatmana vishate deva ekaha
Tasya vidyanat yojanat tattva bhavat
Tasya vidyanat yojanat tattva bhavat
Bhuyaschante Vishvamaya nivritti
Bhuyaschante Vishvamaya nivritti Ksharam pradhanam amritaksharam haraha Bhuyaschante Vishvamaya nivritti Bhuyaschante Vishvamaya nivritti Sharam pradhanam amritaksharam haraha Sharanana vishate deva ekaha Tasya vidyanat yojanat tattva bhavat Bhuyaschante Vishvamaya nivritti Sharam pradhanam
Amritaksharam haraha
Amritaksharam haraha
Sharadmano
Sharadmano
Itate Deva Eka
Ishate Deva Ekaha
Tatya Vindana
Tasya Bhindyana
Yodana Tadabhava
Yojanat Tatvabhava
Yanjante
Uyashchante
Sumaya Devekti
Vishwamaya Nivrittihi
Shara.
Constantly
Are
constantly
constantly changing. Sharam.
body, mind, universe,
Body, mind, universe. So Pradhanam is Prakriti, supreme nature. Yes.
Pradhanam.
She's coming.
Pradhanam. They are manifested, are hidden,
All are changing.
although Pradhanam Chandini.
Although Pradhana is not changing. Amrita Aksharam Haraha. Haraha is the name of God.
Arain, here in the world, here in my soul.
Individual soul. Also name of God. This is called Aksharam Amrita.
Abhisadi, Pamas, Akshar.
Akshara and Akshara.
Meaning?
Soul is Amritaksharam, the immortal,
Hey.
imperishable soul. Kshara Atma Now.
Mano.
Ksharatma Now.
Here number.
The two.
Mano. Bartending.
What case in there is Ksharatma Now? There was a.
I
So this is the subject nominative singular. Devaha Ekaha, the supreme God, one without a second. He governs or rules both the kshara, the changing or perishable, and the Atma or soul, which is called imperishable. The Supreme Lord rules them both. Tasya avidyanad, by meditation, intensive meditation on him or on it, yojanat, and
by dividing mind, by dividing
your mind with it,
Bhava,
Tattva-bhavad, and
who
become
am I? Bhava.
Tattva-bhavad, also then becoming one with the essence of it. Bhuyaha chante, and again at the end of that process, Vishva Maya Nivritti, there is a cessation of all that is Maya, illusion, sorrow.
Body meaning of freedom. Body meaning of freedom. How is it?
Illusion.
Body meaning of freedom. Very powerful. Very powerful. Change attention. Sensory attention.
Sensory.
Right.
That is illusion.
Because we are attention by highly attention.
Because we are attracted by these sensory attractions.
This universe is composed of two principles, I am or subject, and body and mind or object. All manifestation of nature is matter, which is perishable, but subject or I am or soul is imperishable.
Because all manifestation time and space bound.
is time and space bound.
All meditated, the time is space bound. Space bound. While Bhasan is beyond time.
Pradhan is
Beyond
beyond
time. Okay, so all manifestation of nature is matter, which is perishable, because it is time and space bound. But the subject, or I am, or soul, is imperishable and immortal,
Because it is not time bound.
because it is not time bound. These two, subject and object, are governed by the absolute consciousness, absolute awareness of Brahman. That is to say, the perishable matter and the individual I am or soul are governed by the absolute I am. By meditating on the absolute I am, by uniting with the absolute God, and by becoming one with Him, there is cessation of all misery, sorrow, and suffering in the end. So by meditation on the absolute I am, we get freedom and liberation from all sorrow and suffering. The way by which the soul is awakened to the divine's own inner being. The embodied jiva, or individual I am, becomes one with the universal I am and the absolute I am. Vishwamaya means the illusion of understanding the world as separate from one's mind.
Baba rule, Maya, a powerful,
Means a powerful
sensory action.
sensory attraction. And the illusion of
Hear that?
yeah.
Hear me.
Ready? In.
When we reach Kaivalya or freedom, there is total cessation of the world. By meditation on I am beyond the body and mind, one rises above the cosmic structure and attains
I am not
Nirvana.
only heating fighters,
I am is not only reaching,
teaching fighters,
Teaching.
teaching parents,
I am not only teaching parrots,
but I am hard to hearing hands.
you're teaching sleeping parrots.
I the morning.
I would say this is the perfection of parrotism. Something. If you can do that. Your parrots go to bed early morning, and soon after, in the early morning, they are awakened. And they go with eyes closed. Editing, please.
That was a very profound statement.
Dowdy.
The last two lines of this mantra, Tasyabhidhyanad yojana tatvabhavat bhuyaschante vishwamaya nivritti. These last two lines point out the various stages by which the absolute I am is reached. The expression by uniting, yojana, refers to savikalpa or sampragyata samadhi, in which there is yet a difference between the person meditating and the object meditated upon. And the phrase tattva bhava, by becoming one with him, refers to the nirvikalpa or asampragyat samadhi, in which even this distinction is transformed into oneness. That is to say, into the pure awareness of Brahman, or the absolute I am.
Guruji, may I give one message?
Sarvapashapahanihi Shinaim kleshai Janma mrityu pramanihi Tasya vidyana Tritiyam deha vede Vishwaishwaryam Kevalaptakamaha
Gyat
Gyat Yatva devam Sarvapashapahanihi Shinai kleshai Janma mrityu pramanihi Tasya vidyana Tritiyam deha vede Vishwaishwaryam Kevalaptakamaha
Yatva devam
Shinahi kleshai Janma mrityu pramanihi Tasya vidyana Tritiyam deha vede Vishwaishwaryam Kevalaptakamaha.
Word by word. Yatva, having realized, having known, Devam, that supreme God, or absolute, Sarva Pasha Apahani, there is a falling away of all Pasha, ties, bondage, Kshinai Kleshai, and all types of suffering disappear, dwindle, alright? Janma mrityu prahani, and through that no more birth and death. One's kleshas, suffering, and also, it comes in the commentary. Tasya avidhyanat, by meditation on that, tritiyam deha bhede, there comes this, the third state,
freedom.
freedom. Deha bhede. By transcending the body, of heaven and earth, and freedom beyond heaven and earth. So they have had through separation from body consciousness, Vishwa Aishwaryam, and cosmic universal lordship, Kevalaha after God, and one becomes one without a second, after Kamaha, with all desires fulfilled. By meditating on the universal I Am, there is a falling off of all bondage of body and mind. When the sufferings are destroyed, there is cessation of birth and death. By meditating on Him originates the third state, beyond the body, which is universal lordship, or the universal I Am. Being perfected, all one's desires are fulfilled. Or another way of saying, with the waning of ignorance, birth and death cease. By meditating on Him, one reaches the third state, that is the universal lordship. All one's desires are fulfilled, and the individual I Am becomes one with the absolute I Am. This mantra describes the various stages of realization. Knowledge through scriptural study, waning of ignorance, that is to say, avidya, ignorance of one's self, of asmita, egoism, raga, undue attachment to body and mind, dvesha, aversion and hatred of others, and abhinivesha, clinging to the individual body and mind. There is cessation of future births through continuous meditation on the absolute I Am, overcoming the body consciousness, and becoming one without a second, which is the same as the fulfillment of all desires, and attaining the universal I Am and universal life. The process of liberation has two aspects. Negatively, it is freedom from birth and death. Positively, it is oneness with the universal I Am, or Deva. A distinction is made here between dhyana, or meditation which leads to lordship, and jnana, or wisdom, which leads to liberation. The former, which is the contemplation of the I Am beyond the body and mind, the rapture of devotion, is the way to obtain universal lordship. The latter, which is the way to go beyond lordship, that is to say, absolute freedom or oneness with the absolute, is the contemplation of intelligence, the blaze of discernment.
Bharati, please read this paragraph again, please.
Yes. Since I didn't finish, you see. I tried. I have to surrender this one.
Joan we have it. Joan we
It's
have
perfectly
it.
all right. It's perfectly all right.
Joan we have it. Have it.
Yeah.
Don't be drama.
Nervous.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It is not edited.
No,
And
it's
it's not.
perfectly all right.
It's not there.
Only thing I didn't understand.
I don't either. Guilty, I tried, but it was not fun.
No, it is perfectly all right. Just read it over again. It's perfectly all right. Only thing I
It
wanted
needs to be turned around to
No,
be
it doesn't.
clear.
It doesn't. It's perfectly all
Let me
right.
try to turn it around.
Okay. Again.
Nobody can read this. Forget it. Okay.
Hey.
The former, a distinction is made here between dhyana or meditation which leads to lordship.
By means of
By means of
omnipotent high.
the universal I Am that is coming. And jnana or wisdom which leads to liberation. The former, which is the contemplation of the I Am beyond the body and mind, the rapture of devotion is the way to obtain universal lordship.
If you want something, you have to be with God.
If you want something, you have to be with God.
By God.
The latter, which is the contemplation of intelligence, the blaze of discernment, is the way to go beyond lordship.
I don't want to fool somebody. You want
If you want to
fool somebody. You have to pick up the phone.
you have to first pick up the telephone,
I might not, but
or it won't work.
The way to go beyond lordship, that is to say, to the absolute freedom of oneness with the absolute. So long as the cosmic process continues, the personal Lord, or the universal I Am, presides over it. And the freed individual I Am becomes a co-worker with the universal I Am, or Deva. When the cosmic process terminates, the personal Lord, that is the universal I Am, is transformed into the absolute I Am. And so is the individual I Am. He knows, as does the Lord, that is to say, the universal I Am, that he is the manifestation of the absolute I Am, even when he is functioning in the world. That is the end.
Devam Sarvapashapahanihi Shinae Janma Mrityu Pramanihi Tasya Vidyanat Tritiyam Deha Vede Vishwarishwaryam
Devam
Yatva Devam
Mahani
Sarvapashapahanihi Shinae Kleshaya
Mamadumani
Janma Mrityu Brahmanihi
Natya Vinyana
Tasya Vidyana Tritiyam Deha Vede Vishwaishwaryam
Kevala Aptikama
Kevala Aptakama Yatva Devam Sarvapashapahanihi Kshinahe Kleshaya Janma Mrityu Pramanihi Tasya Vidyanat Tritiyam Deha Vede Vishwaishwaryam Kevala Aptakama Yatva Devam Sarvapashapahanihi Kshinahe Kleshaya Janma Mrityu Pramanihi Tasya Vidyanat Tritiyam Deha Vede Vishwaishwaryam Kevala Aptakama.
And the self as two brothers, small and big. The little brother is mischievous and selfish, rude and reckless, while the big brother is intelligent and kind, reasonable and considerate, free from body consciousness and desires and fears. The big brother knows the little one, but the small one is ignorant of the big one and thinks itself to be entirely on its own. The Guru comes and tells the smaller one, you are not alone. You come from a very good family. Your brother is a very remarkable man, wise and kind, and he loves you very much. Remember him, think of him, find him, serve him, and you will become one with him. Now the question is, there are two of us, the personal and the individual, the false self and the true self, or is it only a simile? Maharaj, it is both. They appear to be two, but on investigation they are found to be one. Duality lasts as long as it is questioned. The Trinity, mind, self, and spirit, when looked into, becomes unity. These are only modes of experiencing, of attachment, of detachment, of transcendence. Questioner, your assumption that we are in a dream state makes your position unassailable. Whatever objections we raise, you just deny its validity. One cannot discuss with you. Maharaj, the desire to discuss is also mere desire. The desire to know, to have the power, even the desire to exist, are desires only. Everybody desires to be, to survive, to continue. For no one is sure of himself. But somebody is immortal. You make yourself mortal by taking yourself to be the body. Questioner, since you have found your freedom, will you not give me a little of it? Maharaj, why a little? Take the whole. Take it. It is there for the taking. But you are afraid of freedom. Questioner, Swami Ramdas had to deal with a similar request. Some devotees collected around him one day and began to ask for liberation. Ramdas listened smilingly, and then suddenly he became aware and serious and said, you can have it, here and now. Freedom absolute and permanent. Who wants it? Come forward. Nobody moved. Thrice he repeated the offer. None accepted. Then he said, the offer is withdrawn. Maharaj, attachment destroys courage. The giver is always ready to give. The taker is absent. Freedom means letting go. People just do not care to let go everything. They do not know that the they do not know that the finite is the price of the infinite, as death is the price of immortality. Questioner, before one can realize one's true nature, need not one be a person? Does not the ego have its value? And Maharaj replies, the person is of little use. It is deeply involved in its own affairs and is completely ignorant of its true being. unless the witnessing consciousness begins to play on the person and it becomes the object of observation rather than the subject of realization, is not feasible. It is the witness that makes realization desirable and attainable. Questioner. There comes a point in a person's life when it becomes the witness. Maharaj. Oh no. The person by itself will not become the witness. It is like expecting a cold candle to start, thank you, candle to start burning in the course of time. The person can stay in the darkness of ignorance forever, unless the flame of awareness touches it. Questioner. Who lights the candle? Maharaj, the Guru, his words, his presence. In India, it is very often the mantra. Once the candle is lighted, the flame will consume the candle. Questioner. Why is the mantra so effective? Maharaj, constant repetition of the mantra is something the person does not do for one's own sake. The beneficiary is not the person, just like the candle which does not increase by burning. Questioner. Can the person become aware of itself by itself? Maharaj. Yes. It happens sometime as a result of much suffering. The Guru wants to save you from endless pain. Such is his grace. Even when there is no discoverable outer Guru, there is always the Satguru, the inner Guru, who directs and helps from within.
Have you not
If you do not
have enough
if you don't have enough
harmony,
suffering,
then
you cannot understand any value of meditative life.
The words outer and inner are relative to the body only. In reality, all is one. The outer being merely a projection of the inner. Awareness comes as if from a higher dimension. Questioner. Before the spark is lit and after, what is the difference? Maharaj. Before the spark is lit, there is no witness to perceive the difference. The person may be conscious, but is not aware of being conscious. It is completely identified with what it thinks and feels and experiences. The darkness that is in it is of its own creation. When the darkness is questioned, it dissolves. The desire to question is planted by the Guru. In other words, the difference between the person and the witness is as between not knowing and knowing oneself. The world is seen in consciousness. Is to be of the very nature of consciousness. When there is harmony, sattva. But when activity and passivity, rajas and tamas, appear, they obscure and distort, and you see the false as real. Questioner. What can a person do to prepare itself for the coming of the Guru? Maharaj, the very desire to be ready means that the Guru has come and the flame is lighted. It may be a stray word or on a page in a book. The Guru's grace works miraculously. Questioner, is there no such thing as self-preparation? We hear so much about yoga sadhana. Maharaj, it is not the person that is doing sadhana. The person is in unrest and resisting to the very end. It is the witnessing that works on the person, on the totality of its illusions, past, present, and future. Questioner, how can we know that what you say is true? While it is self-contained and free from inner contradictions, how can we know that it is not the product of futile imagination, nurtured and enriched by constant repetition? Maharaj, the proof of the truth lies in its effect on the listener. Questioner, words can have a most powerful effect. By hearing or by repeating words, one can experience various kinds of trances. The listener experiences may be induced and cannot be considered as proof. Maharaj, the effect need not necessarily be an experience. Necessarily be an experience. It can be a change in character, in motivation, in relationships to people and oneself. Trances and visions induced by words or drugs or any other sensory or mental means are temporary and inconclusive. The truth of what is said here is immovable and everlasting, and the proof of it is in the listener, in the deep and permanent changes in his entire being. It is not something he can doubt, unless he doubts his own existence, which is unthinkable. When my experience becomes your experience also, what better proof do you want? Questioner, the experience is the proof of his experience. Maharaj, quite. But the experiencer needs no proof. I am, and I know I am. You cannot ask for further proofs. Questioner, can there be true knowledge of things? Maharaj, relatively, yes. Absolutely, there are no things. To know that nothing is true knowledge. Questioner, what is the link between the relative and the absolute? Maharaj, they are identical. Questioner, from which point of view are they identical? Maharaj, when the words are spoken, there is silence. When the relative is over, the absolute remains. The silence before the words were spoken is the difference from the silence that comes after. The silence is one, and without it, the words could not have been heard. It is always there, at the back of the words. Shift your attention from words to silence and you will hear it. The mind craves for experience. The memory of it takes for knowledge. The jnani is beyond all experience, and his memory is the empty of the past. He is entirely unrelated to anything in particular. But the mind craves for formulations and definitions, always eager to squeeze reality into a verbal shape. Of everything it wants an idea, for without ideas the mind is not. Reality is essentially alone, but the mind will not leave it alone. And it deals instead with the unreal. And yet it is all the mind can do. Discover the real. Discover the unreal as unreal. Question it. And seeing the real as real? Maharaj, there is no such state as seeing the real. Who is seeing what? You can only be the real, which you are anyhow. The problem is only mental. Abandon false ideas. That's all. There is no need for true ideas. There aren't any. Question. Why then are we encouraged to speak of the real? Maharaj, the mind must have a purpose. To encourage it to free itself from the unreal, it is promised something in return. In reality, there is no need of purpose. Being free from the false is good in itself. It wants no reward. It is just like being clean, which is its own reward. Questioner, is not self-knowledge the reward? Maharaj, the reward of self-knowledge is freedom from the personal self. You cannot know the knower. You are the knower. The fact of knowing proves the knower. You need no other proof. The knower of the known is not knowable. Just like the light is known in colors only, so is the knower known in knowledge. Questioner, is the knower an inference only? Maharaj, you know your body, mind and feelings. Are you an inference only? Questioner, I am an inference to others, but not to myself. Maharaj, so am I. An inference to you, but not to myself. I know myself as being myself, as you know yourself to be a man by being one. You do not keep on reminding yourself that you are a man. It is only when your humanity is questioned that you assert it. Similarly, I know that I am all. I do not need to keep on repeating, I am all, I am all. Only when you take me to be a particular, a person, I protest. I ask you, as you are a man all the time, so am I what I am all the time. Whatever you are, changelessly, that you are beyond all doubt. Questioner, when I ask how do you know that you are a jnani, you answer, I find no desire in me. Is this not a proof? Maharaj, were I full of desires, I would have still been what I am. Questioner, myself full of desires, and you full of desires. What's the difference? What difference would there be? Maharaj, you identify yourself with your desires and you become their slave. To me, desires are things among other things. mere clouds in the mental sky, and I do not feel compelled to act on them. Questioner. The knower and his knowledge, are they one or two? Maharaj, they are both. The knower is unmanifested. The known is the manifested. The known is always on the move. It changes. It has no shape of its own, no dwelling place. The knower is the immutable, support of all knowledge. Each needs the other, but reality lies beyond. The jnani cannot be known, because there is nobody to be known. When there is a person, you can tell something about it. But when there is no self-identification with the particular, what can be said? You may tell a jnani anything. His question will always be, about whom are you talking about? There is no such person. Just as you cannot say anything about the universe because it includes everything, so nothing can be said about a jnani, for he is all and yet nothing in particular. You need a hook to hang your picture on. When there is no hook, on what will the picture hang? To locate a thing, you need space. To place an event, you need time. But the timeless and spaceless defies all hanging. It makes everything perceivable, yet is beyond perception. The mind cannot know what is beyond the mind, but the mind is known by what is beyond it. The jnani knows neither birth nor death. Existence and non-existence are the same to him. Questioner. When your body dies, you remain. Maharaj, nothing dies. The body is just imagined. There is no such thing. Questioner. Before another century will pass, you will be dead to all around you. Your body will be covered with flowers and then burned and the ashes scattered. That will be our experience. What will be yours? Maharaj, time will come to an end. This is called the great death, the death of time. Questioner, does it mean the universe and its contents will come to an end? Maharaj, the universe is your personal experience. How can it be affected? You might have been delivering a lecture for 2 hours. Where has it gone? When is it over? It is the merge into silence in which the beginning, the middle, and the end of the lecture are all together. Time has come to a stop. It was, but it is no more. The silence after a life of talking and the silence after a life of silence is the same silence. Immortality is freedom from the feeling, I am. Yet it is not the extinction. On the contrary, it is a state infinitely more real, aware, and happy than you can possibly think of. Only self-consciousness is no more. Questioner, why does the great death of the mind coincide with the small death of the body? Maharaj, it does not at all. You may die 100 deaths without breaking in the mental turmoil, or you may keep your body and die only in the mind. The death of the mind is the birth of wisdom. Questioner, the person goes and only the witness remains? Maharaj, who remains to say, I am the witness? When there is no I am, where is the witness? In the timeless state, there is no self to take refuge in. The man who carries a parcel is anxious not to lose it. He is parcel conscious. The man who cherishes the feeling I am is self-conscious. The jnani holds on to nothing and cannot be said to be conscious. And yet he is not unconscious. He is in the very heart of awareness. We call him Digambara, clothed in space, the naked one, beyond all appearances. There is no name and shape under which he may be said to exist. Yet he is the only one, the truly is. Questioner, I cannot grasp it. Maharaj, who can? The mind has its limits. It is enough to bring you to the very frontiers of knowledge and make you face the immensity of the unknown. To dive in it is up to you. Questioner, what about the witness? Is it real or unreal? Maharaj, it is both. The last remnant of illusion, the first touch of the real. To say, I am only the witness, is both false and true. False because the I am,
Universal I am.
Party because here I am taking living pathway to it.
Because the three I ams are living always together.
They are not, they must have it.
They're never separate.
Because we have only one I am.
Because we have only one I am.
As two,
The other two, individual and universal.
I am exactly.
Those are its reflections.
And that what to do, what way if you come to know which I am operating.
Then what to do, or in what way will you come to know which I am is operating?
By you eat,
When you eat,
then I am.
then that is the individual I am.
By you work,
When you work,
I really.
unselfishly,
My mind of you planning.
from the point of view, this is cosmic.
Say you are the
From the point of, when you work from the point of view of helping others, not yourself, that's the universal I am.
When you are meditating
And when you are meditating
without mind and body,
without the mind or the body,
then you are how to die.
then you are in the absolute I am.
Have you waited
If you meditate
on I am,
on the I am,
beyond the body and mind,
beyond the body and mind,
after 1 month,
after 1 month,
you begin to understand,
you begin to understand.
not human time,
It doesn't take too much time.
but you have to meditate 1 month very actively.
But you have to meditate for 1 month very regularly.
1 hour, animate morning,
For 30 minutes morning
everybody coming.
and 30 minutes evening.
And while you are working
And while
whole day,
And while you're working the whole day,
be aware.
be aware.
Touching no, not do anything to harm others.
Do not do anything to harm others.
And I will not do anything to mom things of you.
And not do anything from a selfish point of view.
I mean that be after 1 month.
And after 1 month, in this way,
Keeping away
keeping away,
a mom or my many members.
also keeping away from your family members,
I really, especially
especially
mother.
your mother. This is a specific remedy.
I'll be careful. You are very wise.
You are very wise.
You are understand.
And you understand.
Because your name is Joseph,
Because your name is Joseph,
Father of
who is the father of
faith life.
Jesus Christ.
Any questions? You have any questions?
Do you have any questions?
You have? You have?
Guruji, how do you differentiate sometimes between what is truly unselfish? Because sometimes an unselfish action has a selfish motive.
Very easy. Whatever mind thinks,
It's very easy. Whatever the mind thinks,
that will be,
that will be
that will. Any motive, real motive, because mind is tired.
whatever the mind thinks will have an ulterior motive also, because the mind is a lawyer.
Mind is tired.
Well, how do you know when a lawyer
See,
is lying?
When does
When
a
he-
lawyer lie?
When does a lawyer lie?
Lie
whatever
When he
you,
opens his mouth.
whenever he opens his mouth.
whatever you think,
Whenever you think,
that must be coming now.
there will be some selfishness going on.
You cannot work without ultimately.
You cannot work without selfishness.
Up to high point. Up to high point.
Up to
Athens.
a
Athens
certain
mind.
point.
Everything is out. He's out. He's out.
Doubt.
It is allowed.
Technical.
And nothing wrong.
But you cannot harm
But you cannot harm
any individual.
in your selfishness.
Nobody.
You cannot harm anyone.
I decided you can be the element. Why not?
You can be selfish, why not?
But you did not harm anybody.
But you must not harm anybody.
I type of anyway, it's out.
That type of selfishness is allowed.
Without him making hesitate and problem, we will not eat.
Without having some form of selfishness, you cannot even eat.
You cannot be here.
Nor can you be here.
Huh?
How does that relate to desire, selfishness? Would they be similar in terms of, I've often had a fear of moving out of my own desire and having it not be in alignment with God's will.
But to understand,
What do you understand?
About desire?
all desire, make all desire,
Make all desires
universal.
universal.
how you want to have a house.
If you want to have a house,
Why not very big house?
why not have a very big house
And common husband,
and open an ashram?
anyway, who here are universe.
In this way, your desires are universal.
So as long as they're serving the good of serving
Without that, nobody can live.
Without desire, nobody can live.
But be careful.
But be careful.
There should not be any other motive.
There should not be any ulterior motive.
For example,
For example,
here Adam.
take the ashram.
I have any other motive.
If I have any ulterior motive
To have my family.
to help my family
To take money out of,
or to take money personally out of ashram,
then I have other motive.
then I have ulterior motive in running ashram.
Be careful. Only who has be any other motive.
There must not be any ulterior motive
Anyone.
in any form.
As be your hard guy, God, universal.
In that way, all of your desires are universal.
Where even person,
Even building a mansion? No.
he can learn it.
Even raising children.
Why you everybody, mother and mother, paid attention?
Every father and mother raises their children.
Why?
But why?
You have father.
If it's to serve others,
Had father by many times. By many times.
if it's to serve others by various
Son.
knowledge,
You put hold name on him.
but if you're raising your children to glorify your own name and fame through them,
Then to honor God.
then you will be under karmic law.
It's slowly everybody.
Every work,
God cannot should
God does not see your work,
but should motive.
but He sees your motive.
I will know that we are started. That he not mine.
If you know Lord Krishna's wives, what?
Die.
Life.
Die. Not die. He had more than I.
He had many wives.
18,000.
16,108 wives.
His whole life, first half,
His whole life was full of
tiny him,
cunningship,
but not for others.
but not for himself,
To wait harder,
but to prepare others,
to fight
to
harder,
help others.
not for others. Whole life, he was hiding.
Whole life was full of cunningship.
So you hide you
And due to that cunningship,
become my Almighty God.
he became Almighty God.
Because he had to help the whole world.
Because he had to help the whole world.
I died that with that wife.
I like Lord Krishna's love.
Be like Sadhana.
Be like Lord Krishna.
You have Sadhana.
Any questions?
Human soul. Meditate on I am.
Meditate on I am,
Beyond the body and mind.
beyond the body and mind.
And feel you are everywhere.
And feel you are everywhere,
Like blue sky.
like the blue sky.
Go beyond all sensation.
Go beyond all sensation.
Become like blue sky.
Become like the blue sky.
And everything.
Sense,
And everything.
sense everything,
But do not take part in anything.
but do not take part in anything.
Become like tide.
Become like
Tide. Tide.
light.
Become like tide. Experience everything.
Experience everything
And be beyond everything.
and be beyond everything.
Become like sun.
Become like the sun.
Help everybody.
Help everybody,
But keep away
but keep away.
from everything.
Keep away from everything.
Become like air.
Become like air.
Without air, you will not breathe.
Without air, you cannot breathe.
But here is pretty mom have whole life.
But the air is free from your life.
And same way, become pretty mom, body, and mind.
In the same way, become free from the body and mind.
Om Name Mamata
Tvameva Mandushasaka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva
God is over. God is over. Yeah. And now